November 1982. Ray Dalio is 33 years old and he is about to experience what he later called one of the best things that ever happened to me, disguised as the worst. Now, Mexico has just defaulted on its debt, the economy is in crisis, Congress is holding emergency hearings, and Dalio, who had predicted this debt crisis, is suddenly in demand everywhere. He testifies before Congress. Then he appears on Wall Street Week. On national television, he confidently declares there'll be no soft landing, and I can see that with absolute certainty because I know how markets work. Now, it turned out that he was dead wrong. The Fed responded to the crisis by making money more readily available, and the economy didn't collapse, it rebounded, and in fact, the market not only not crashed, it began an 18-year bull run. So, Dalio later wrote, I am still shocked and embarrassed by how arrogant I was. Now, he lost clients, he had to let go of every employee until he was the only one left at Bridgewater. And to make ends meet, he had to borrow $4,000 from his father while his family sold their second car. Now, that failure could have ended him. Instead, it became the foundation of a 150 billion empire that he created in his life. How? So let me break that down and let's go into what Dalio did. Because Dalio didn't just experience pain, he reflected on it. And that reflection produced the mental operating system I'm about to teach you, which I learned from Ray Dalio. Now, the thing that Dalio figured is the aftermath, the when he went through this whole embarrassment that he went through, he could have blamed the markets, he could have blamed the Fed, that they learned from what he was saying or what other smart people were saying at that time, and then they corrected course, so that's why it didn't happen. He could have even blamed it to his employees or just simply bad luck. Instead, he looked inward. He wrote, I learned a great fear of being wrong that shifted my mind. It shifted my mindset from thinking I am right to asking myself, how do I know I am right? And that single question, how do I know I am right, became the foundation of everything he did at Bridgewater. But Dalio didn't just learn from that one painful experience. He developed a system for converting any pain into progress. And that's the power that I want to introduce to you. Dalio calls it pain plus reflection is equal to progress. Now, pain is a signal that you need to find solutions so you can progress. So if today you're struggling financially and that pain is just a signal to tell you that you need to find solutions, and if you can develop a reflexive reaction to psychic pain that causes you to reflect on it rather than avoid it, it will lead you to your rapid learning and evolving. And I've experienced it plenty of times in my life. Pain is equal to the signal that something in your approach is not working. And reflection is the honest analysis of what went wrong and why. And progress is simply the evolution of your approach, so you don't repeat the same mistake again. And if you've heard that nature will keep bringing back the same situation in different forms until you learn the lesson from it, that's pretty much what we're talking about. Most people run from pain. Dalio learned to run toward it. He even created a pain button app at Bridgewater, a tool that promotes people to record their pain in the moment and then guides them through reflection questions later. So if you can reflect well while you're in pain, great. But if you can remember to reflect after it passes, that's also valuable. Sometimes when you're too much in pain, you're losing the ability to reflect. That's fair enough. But here's the key insight: if you're not failing, you're not pushing your limits, first of all. And if you're not pushing your limits, you're not maximizing your potential. So, what did Dalio discover when he reflected on his 1982 failure? Well, three things as he puts it. First, he had been wildly overconfident. He had let his emotions override his analysis. Second, he reflected that he had failed to learn from history. The same patterns had happened before. In 1932, at the bottom of the Great Depression, and he missed to study that. And third, he realized that no matter how smart he was, he could never be certain enough to bet everything on being right. Now, this led to a complete transformation in how he made decisions for the rest of his life. He wrote, I saw clearly that the best way to answer, how do I know I am right, is by finding other independent thinkers who are on the same mission as me and who see things differently from me. So, this became the foundation of Bridgewater's culture of radical transparency, the commitment of stress testing every belief, especially the ones you're most attached to. Like for me, my organic business, I was so attached to it. People could see, my family could see that, fundamental basic financial principles are being violated, but I was too attached to it. And it led him to develop this 5 step process, a systematic machine for getting what you want out of life. And you can apply it to any area of your life. And here's the system that Dalio built. Step one is have clear goals. It is going to sound very simple, but I have the test. When you run it, you'll know the results. Okay, so step one is have clear goals. Step two is identify and don't tolerate problems. First of all, identify what's stopping you from achieving your goals, and then don't tolerate problems. Step three is diagnose problems to get at their root cause. Step four is design a plan, and step five is push through to completion. So this 5 step process is the path to getting what you want out of life. Now let me break that down as I always do for you. Let me show you each step and how to apply it to your financial situation, to your financial life. So step one is have clear goals. Now we all know that we have to set goals to get anything in life. But while you can have virtually anything you want, Dalio says that you can't have everything you want. So let me repeat that. While you can have virtually anything you want, you can't have everything you want. Now, the mistake that most people make is that they have vague goals. I want to be wealthy. I want financial freedom. These aren't goals. These are just finger up in the air wishes. A clear goal is specific, it's measurable, it's time bound. We all know that. Smart goals, right? 5 crores in investable assets by the age of 50. A 50 crore net worth. 2 lakhs per month in passive income within 3 years. Dalio makes a critical distinction. Don't confuse goals with desires, right? So understand fully what goals are. I just gave you a few examples. Desires are first order wants. I want a new car. That's a desire. Goals are higher order outcomes. I want financial independence from an employer. That's a higher order outcome. And sometimes desires, they sabotage goals. The desire for lifestyle inflation conflicts with the goal of financial freedom. If your goal is financial freedom and every time you go and you buy the next new iPhone or the best car that just comes up, you're in contradiction. So here is my invitation. Be audacious in your goals. Be ruthless about whether your daily desires support or sabotage them. Now, second step is identify and don't tolerate problems. Now, most people sense something is wrong, but they never specify. They never sit there and reflect. You're feeling uneasy, you're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, but you're not willing to invest that time to understand what is specifically bothering you. I feel like I should be further ahead. That's a feeling, not a problem. A problem is specific. A problem is despite earning 1 crore rupees, I only saved 2 lakhs this year. I've been planning to invest for 3 years and I haven't even started. My friend told me 2 years back, invest in Indian real estate. I didn't take action and I've lost 200,000 pounds as a result. View painful problems as potential improvements that are screaming at you. Now, here's the key. Once you identify a problem, don't tolerate it. That's move from vague dissatisfaction to precise specification. Don't tolerate problems. Use them as signals. That's leading up to step 3, where you diagnose the root cause of the problem. Diagnose problems to get to their root cause. If you've not invested 3 years back when you had the surplus and you held on to it, what was the root cause? The root cause was maybe you were not feeling secure in your job at the time. Maybe you had some childhood fears around losing all your money in investments. And this is where most people fail. And where Dalio's 1982 reflection was most powerful. They identify the problem, I lost money, and they stop there. They freeze. I will not go enter the financial markets ever again. But I lost money is a proximate cause, a symptom, a surface level problem. Now, Dalio's explicit instruction for this step is distinguish proximate causes from root causes. You lost money in the market because you did not understand the rules of investments. You did not follow the simple investment handbook, I call it. So root causes are deeper, they're patterns in your behavior. I lost money is proximate. I panic sell during volatility because I can't tolerate short-term uncertainty is the root cause. I'm not saving enough is proximate. I prioritize immediate comfort over future security is the root cause. Now recognize that knowing what someone, including you, is like will tell you what you can expect from them. Okay, let me show you how this worked for me. When my organic business failed, the proximate cause was the business lost money, or that the competition ate me alive is something I kept saying for the longest time. I felt like a Nemo in a red ocean and all of those things. But the root cause was I assumed premium quality justified premium pricing. And the market wasn't ready for it without ever testing that assumption against market reality. The root cause wasn't the market, it was my pattern of assuming rather than verifying. Separate proximate causes from root causes. Be ruthlessly honest about patterns in your thinking. Step 4 is design a plan. Nobody can design a plan better for you than you yourself. I can only hold your hand and give you a system, a structure, a tool, a template to design your plan. But once you've diagnosed the root cause, only you know your specific situation. You have to design a plan that works best for you. Dalio's exact instruction is think of your plan as being like in a movie script. In that you visualize who will do what through time, right? So you are writing the script. Your banker, what will he do? Your agent, what will he do? What will Sonia bring to the table for you and everything? The plan must address the why, not just the what. This is something that I learned from Tony Robbins as well. Have that emotion that why do you want to do a certain thing? I'll invest more is a bad plan. A good plan is I'll automate 50,000 on salary day before I can spend it, removing my tendency to prioritize impulsive purchases. Write down your plan for everyone to see and to measure your progress against. Okay, so at least if you're not even showing it to everyone, at least it should be visible to you. Design plans that address root causes. Build systems that work even when willpower fails. And the final step is push through to completion. I am going very big on this fifth step these days. Great planners who don't execute their plans go nowhere. And the other thing that I learned recently is that the only difference between where you are and where you want to be is action. Establish clear metrics to make certain that you are following your plans. So if your goal is 5 crores in 5 years, but you're on track for 2 crores, your plan needs adjustment. You need to do some hardcore maths, and you will get the template for all of those pretty much in the following 2 steps. And here's the key insight. Look at the patterns of your mistakes and identify at which step in the 5-step process you typically fail. Now, I've done an AI powered radical truth test. If you haven't taken it already, I strongly urge you go ahead and do that, because it's going to show you the mirror, which is what I promised you for this step 1. This is why this 5-step process is a loop and it's not a one-time exercise. You set your goals, you identify the problems, you go into the root cause, design, execute, measure, adjust, execute again, and repeat. Now, let me bring this to a full circle. Dalio went on national television and declared with absolute certainty that he was right and he was spectacularly wrong. So, neither me nor you or nor anybody else can always feel that they're absolutely right. But he didn't run from the pain, he reflected on it. How do I know I'm right? That changed his entire rest of his life, and became the single point of his thinking going forward. And he built a system to ensure that he'd never be that blindly confident ever again. So basically, pain plus reflection is progress, and that equation applied relentlessly over 40 years turned a man who borrowed $4,000 at the age of 32 or 33 from his father, and he turned in that one concept helped him create $150 billion Bridgewater Associates, the largest hedge fund in the world. And the 5-step process is the machine that converts pain into progress. And now it's in your hand. So put it to work for your finances. The radical truth test, the 5-step process applied to one of your financial goals. The link of the AI powered where Dalio's reflections will come to you is in the comments below. So once you've done that, pick up one action, pick up one reality that comes to your awareness after this, put it in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video where we're going to again go into a tangible exercise which will help you decode or unearth 1 to 5 lakh rupees every year that you're losing in invisible money leaks. So I'll see you in the next one, and enjoy your radical truth test journey.